Presented by Cursed by the Witch. Warning, use headphones before listening to horror podcast story.
The Cursed Silence is a disturbing and spine-chilling horror story centered around an ancient curse that robs its victims of their voices before trapping them in eternal silence. This tale unfolds in the small, isolated village of Elder Grove, where a long-forgotten curse begins to resurface, haunting the lives of anyone who dares to speak of it. The protagonist, Lily Ashton, a young journalist seeking answers, arrives in Elder Grove to investigate a series of mysterious deaths where victims are found with their mouths frozen in silent screams, their voices stolen by an invisible force. As Lily delves deeper into the village's past, she unearths a terrifying legend tied to an ancient burial ground and a vengeful spirit known only as the Keeper of Silence. Part 1. The Strange Deaths Begin. The story begins with Lily Ashton, a journalist for a small regional magazine, receiving a letter from a desperate village elder in Elder Grove. The elder, Arthur Crowley, pleads for help, describing a string of bizarre deaths that the authorities can't explain. Victims are found dead in their homes or on the streets with no visible injuries, yet their faces are twisted in terror, mouths agape as if in the middle of a silent scream. The most disturbing detail, however, is that none of the victims have vocal cords. Each one seems to have had their voice stolen before they died. Intrigued by the mystery, Lily heads to Elder Grove, a secluded and nearly forgotten village hidden deep in the woods. Upon arriving, she immediately notices the eerie quiet that envelopes the village, as if the very air is suffocating sound. The villagers are standoffish, their eyes filled with fear, and no one is willing to talk about the deaths. Even the children, normally full of life, move in silence, their playful laughter stifled. At night, Lily hears strange noises, whispers that seem to come from nowhere, accompanied by a soft breeze that barely stirs the trees. It's as though the wind itself is carrying voices, fragments of words spoken long ago, too faint to fully understand but enough to send chills down her spine. Part 2. The Legend of the Cursed Silence. After days of fruitless investigation, Lily meets Arthur Crowley, the elderly villager who had written to her. He invites her into his home, where he cautiously begins to recount the village's dark past. Generations ago, Elder Grove was cursed by a powerful spirit known as the Keeper of Silence, a once human entity who was wronged by the villagers and, upon death, vowed to silence them all. According to the legend, Margaret Hawthorne, a healer from centuries past, was accused of witchcraft by the villagers after several children fell ill. Though innocent, she was tortured into a confession and ultimately killed in a brutal execution. As she died, she cursed the village, swearing that their voices would one day be taken, just as hers was when they silenced her cries for mercy. The village buried her body in an unmarked grave deep within Whispering Grove, a forest so quiet it was said you could hear your own thoughts. Soon after her death, strange things began to happen. People would lose their voices for hours at a time, unable to speak no matter how hard they tried. Over the years, the curse faded into legend, but the village's silence remained, passed down from one generation to the next like an unspoken fear. Arthur explains that the recent deaths are just the beginning. The curse has awakened, and the Keeper of Silence has returned to claim what was promised, the voices of every villager in Elder Grove. Part 3. The Curse Takes Hold. As Lily digs deeper into the mystery, she discovers a pattern. Each of the recent victims had attempted to leave the village or had spoken openly about the curse. It becomes clear that discussing the curse or trying to escape its reach is what triggers the spirit's wrath. The curse is not just a myth but a living, breathing force that hunts those who defy it. Every spoken word becomes a risk, as the Keeper of Silence waits in the shadows, ready to claim another voice. The atmosphere in Elder Grove grows more oppressive by the day. More villagers die in the same horrifying manner, their faces frozen in terror, their voices stolen. Lily begins experiencing strange phenomena. Her throat tightens at random moments, and sometimes she opens her mouth to speak, only to find herself mute. It's as if the spirit is testing her, toying with her before making its final move. One night, as she walks through the village square, Lily hears a disembodied voice whispering her name. She turns, but no one is there. The voice comes again, louder this time, pulling her toward the edge of the forest. Though terrified, she follows it, unable to resist. In the depths of Whispering Grove, she finds an old, decrepit cabin, Margaret Hawthorne's childhood home, long abandoned but still standing. Part 4. The Keeper of Silence Revealed. Inside the cabin, Lily uncovers Margaret's personal journal, which reveals the tragic truth of her life. Margaret had been a kind and generous healer, loved by the children she cared for, but despised by the village leaders who saw her influence as a threat. When an outbreak of illness struck the village, they needed a scapegoat, and Margaret was the easiest target. Her journal describes the terror she felt during her final days, the torture, the isolation, the betrayal by the people she had once helped. But most disturbingly, Margaret writes of a dark ritual she performed just before her death. She bound her spirit to the village in a desperate bid for revenge, ensuring that no one in Elder Grove would ever again speak without fear. The journal ends with a chilling passage. They took my voice, but I shall take theirs. Let them scream in silence as I once did. As Lily reads these words, the air grows colder, and she feels a presence in the room with her. Slowly, she turns to see a figure standing in the shadows, the Keeper of Silence, a spectral figure with hollow eyes and a mouth sewn shut, its hands outstretched as if to steal her voice. The entity approaches, and Lily feels her throat tighten, her ability to speak slipping away. Part 5. The Silent Sacrifice. Terrified and paralyzed, Lily realizes there is only one way to stop the curse. She must give the keeper what it wants, her silence. The spirit craves voices, and by willingly sacrificing her ability to speak, Lily hopes to break the curse and save the remaining villagers. In a desperate act of courage, Lily whispers a final sentence, I give you my voice. As the words leave her lips, she feels a sharp pain in her throat, and the ability to speak vanishes instantly. The keeper pauses, its hollow eyes locking onto hers, before slowly fading away into the darkness. Lily stumbles out of the cabin, her heart pounding in her chest. The village is deathly quiet now, but she knows she has succeeded, the curse has been appeased, at least for now. Part 6. The Aftermath. Lily returns to the village, where the deaths suddenly stop. The villagers are grateful, though no one fully understands the sacrifice she has made. Lily can no longer speak, her voice forever taken by the Keeper of Silence, but she knows that her silence has saved Elder Grove from further destruction. Despite her victory, Lily cannot shake the feeling that the curse isn't truly gone. The Keeper of Silence still lingers in the shadows, watching, waiting for someone else to break the silence. The village is safe for now, but the uneasy quiet that hangs over Elder Grove serves as a constant reminder that the curse could return at any moment. As Lily leaves the village, she glances back at Whispering Grove, where the wind stirs the trees but makes no sound. The curse of silence has claimed her, but she knows that one day, it may claim others too. The Cursed Silence is a chilling exploration of the power of words and the fear of losing one's voice. The story delves into the haunting consequences of a vengeful spirit who seeks to exact revenge on a village that wronged her, silencing its people one by one. With a gripping atmosphere and a growing sense of dread, The Cursed Silence keeps readers on edge, wondering when the next scream will be silenced.
Thank you for watching. Just like and subscribe.